Welcome back, folks. It's Rod and Velette here. Thanks for joining us, and we're going to take you down through the Yorke Peninsula of South Australia. And we'll sample some of the seafood down there, which is fantastic. We'll also be lucky enough to see one of the auroras, Aurora australis. We'll take you through some of the beaches, some of the famous national parks, the Innes National Park down there. A lot of people overlook the Yorke, but it's not a place I'd be overlooking. It's well worth a visit. Beautiful beaches, a lot of history, and the people down there are pretty nice too. So come with us and we'll explore the Yorke. On our journey on the Yorke at Port Germein, that's a few images of Port Germein there. The jetty is the longest one in South Australia as far as I know. It takes a long way to get out. People put their boats out by tractor, most tractors or jinkers. I'll show you an image of a jinker in a little bit. Some use their cars, and I'm not sure I'd be buying that car. But these jinkers are all over South Australia because the beaches are so far out to get to their boats. So pretty impressive, homemade machines, and we'll see if we can show you a few more of those as we travel around. From Port Germein, we moved down into Moonta Bay. Great spot for the kids, great spot for the adults. Squid fishing, swimming in the beach there. Kids have got a water slide park there, and we just loved it there. The sunsets were fantastic, and yeah, it was a very nice spot. They've also got a copper mining museum. They have a train running around there. It takes 50 minutes for the circuit on the train. Adults were $12. I think the kids were only about $8. But well worth the ride. As I said, 50 minutes for the circuit. You learn a hell of a lot about the history of the area. They take you through the old workings, and they take you through the old processing plant. Well worth it. Some of the buildings that have been restored, they're just absolutely beautiful. And when you've finished it all, you can run the kids across the road, and there's the old lolly shop and sweet shop there. Yeah, Moonta, well worth the visit. We moved from Moonta down into Balgowan, stayed at a council campsite there. There's only 7 spots, 7 powered. I think there's 3 or 4 unpowered. Nice boat ramp, nice little town. There's bugger all there. They've got one little shop. I think it only opens 2 days a week. But yeah, good spot for fishing if you've got a boat. Good facilities for a boat. And we were lucky enough to catch an aurora while we were there, looking south down the coastline. From there we moved down to Warooka. You can camp on this beach up until the 3rd of February 2025, and from that point on they're closing the beach. There's just too many people taking advantage of it, and they're leaving too much rubbish apparently. Yeah, we spotted a few eagle rays in the shallows there of an afternoon. We didn't actually camp on the beach. We camped up on top of the cliff at the access to the beach. Had a bit of a campfire. It was tucked in pretty well in the upper dunes there. And there's only one toilet, unfortunately. That's another reason why they've closed the access to the beach for camping. One toilet makes it very difficult when you've got 300 campers on the beach at Christmas time. But hey, look, it's still worth a look. If there's no camping there, you can head on into Port Rickaby or something like that. But still worth a day's drive out there to have a look at it. And yeah, bumped into a mob of sheep, or came across a mob of sheep, I should say, on the way out of Warooka, and the roads were pretty good. We decided an overnight stop at Port Rickaby would be a good idea. Watched a few people getting some squid off the jetty there. Watched a bit of a nice sunset, and basically just charged up our batteries for a bit. Did a bit of washing. Nice little spot, no shops, but not a bad overnight stop. We moved on down then into Berners Beach. It's a $20 a night council park. And whilst we're at Berners Beach there, we decided to do the drive out to Corny Point. On the way out there, we passed Berry Bay. Windy as all get out the day we did it. That's why there's no commentary on here. Got out as far as Gravel Bay. There's a couple of little bush camps out that way. Nothing big enough for our van, unfortunately, but if you're in a rooftop tent and got some water and stuff, it's not a bad spot to get out to. Corny Point Lighthouse, worth going out for the visit. It's about an hour and a half return trip drive out from Berners Beach. That's another view there of the beach at Corny Point lighthouse. The orange rocks are pretty impressive on a nice sunny day. Yeah, it's a good old drive out to Corny Point. Down the bottom of the Yorke Peninsula is a national park called the Innes National Park. The whole area once upon a time was a gypsum mine, a salt mine. There's remnants and relics all over the place from this period. We started our day at Jolly Beach, and as you can see, it's a beautiful sunny day. You'll see later it didn't turn out that way. On the way back, we found an emu, daddy emu, with a couple of chicks at his side. We saw quite a few of these as the day went on. It was pretty nice to see, actually. Down into Stenhouse Bay is where they used to load the gyprock. You can actually walk down the bottom, down beside the old horse-drawn railway, out onto the jetty, and you can see where they've actually started to restore the place. And you can look back up the hill and see where the railway was and the old gypsum loading facility. There's a few little critters running around down there as well. But yeah, as you can see, the day didn't stay as good as that. So we made it as far as Edith Beach, and it is Edith Beach, isn't it? Yeah. Ethel Beach. There we go. Made it as far as Ethel Beach this morning, and the rain's come in pretty nasty. It's blowing about 40 or 45 kilometres an hour out there. There's a wreck down there somewhere. We just had a bit of a peek of it, but we'll come back on a sunny day. Stay tuned, people. And just like that, poof, through the magic of video, 5 days later, we're back at Ethel Beach. Sun's shining, and we're going to take you for a little tour around the rest of Innes National Park. Much better day today. Yeah, like I said, it was a much better day, and decided to put the drone up. It was a beautiful day out there. Got a couple of nice, good shots of the wreck. And then I decided to push my luck a little bit further and went up towards the side of the cliff for another shot down the beach, and unfortunately I ended up crashing it halfway up the hill. I lost it at Ethel Beach. Up there, I'm pretty sure Velette's going to put some photos up later, but it looks like it's all intact, no broken antennas, no broken what they call those things, propellers. Looks like the gimbal's still working, so we'll get it to a nice spot, and safe spot, and we'll see that it works all right. $3,000 and a bit of hill climbing.
Oh, Poppy.
Love it. We dropped in to see the ruins of an old gypsum mining town called Inniston. They're slowly restoring some of the buildings. There's lots of relics lying around. They're slowly restoring some of the buildings and opening them up as Airbnbs. It's very interesting to have a look around. You can get in there and see the old baker's oven, which is still, looks like it could still do the job. But yeah, Inniston, it's well worth the look around. We just had a bit of lunch there, a few sandwiches, and moved along. And we went down to one of the fishing villages, a little bit further down the coast, or up the coast by that stage, and finished up our day down at a place called Dolphin Beach. But beautiful spot if you want to get down to the bottom of the Yorke Peninsula. Great way to spend a couple of days down there discovering the Innes National Park. Plenty of wildlife, plenty of beaches, and lots to do down there. Plenty of bushwalks as well. So Innes National Park, well worth the visit. Another little town that's well worth visiting is Edithburgh. Nice little town. It's got some historic windmills down there. Beautiful architecture, some of the old houses. Again, it's got a jetty very close to the wind farm down there, and it's got a great piece of sculpture in the middle of town made out of every bit of metal you can think of, all welded together to make up an old draft horse. Beautiful spot. Very close to Yorktown and very close to the salt lakes. If you wanted to visit these salt lakes, this one here was 2 kilometres south of Yorktown, but there's about 170 salt lakes around there, and it depends on the time of year and the sun and how much water's in them as to whether they're pink or there are a number of other colours they can turn, depending on the algae in the water at the time. But yeah, just sit back and let's look at that for a minute, because it's a beautiful, beautiful sight to see. Another nice little town you could visit on the Yorke Peninsula is Port Vincent. Plenty of sand flats there you can see for crabbing. Pelicans were all over the joint there, very friendly. And the oyster man, he comes into Caravan Park and shucks the oysters right in front of you. I don't think we've had better oysters at too many places, that's for sure. The crabbing, yeah, was pretty good there too. And then we moved on up to a place called Ardrossan. They say the crabbing there is pretty good. It wasn't real good while we were there. I think we were there on the wrong tide, the wrong moon, so it didn't really work out for us. But the bakery's pretty good. The butcher shop was sensational, and the pub was pretty good too with their raffles. Beautiful coastline there, and then they have you look out up the top of the old dolomite mine. And as you'll see what I mean about the wheat running straight down to the ocean. It just runs all the way down to the ocean there, and the grain loading facility in the background there. We spent 8 weeks on the York, and absolutely loved it. Seafood, people, beaches, plenty of camping down there, raking crabs. Yeah, you won't be disappointed if you get down to the Yorke Peninsula. And have a look at our next video. It's all about raking crabs. Only 5 minutes out of your life, so it's a bit of fun. Yeah, join us next time on Living in the Dream with Rod and Velette.